Alright guys, welcome to Play the Game. Here we got a deck profile for Bermuda Triangle. And our player is Bryan.
What up, guys?
And we got Jesse off to the side.
What's up, guys?
And then your host, Trace, is here too. Alright, go ahead, Bryan.
Alright, so I run Trouse. I run 4 Trouse in the deck. It's a finisher card. It's one of the main cards I normally use. It's good for early, it's good for late. It really doesn't matter because you can always stride, multiple turns to not use her ability. And you save it for like pretty much late game or mid game push. You're able to use her ability about 3 to 4 times per game. It's counterblast 3, ditch 3 cards, restand the Vanguard. But it has to attack a Vanguard in order to get the ability off. Her second ability is when you ride Trouse over Riviere, the Grade 2, but I don't run that engine because it doesn't really. I don't really like it. It seems inconsistent in my opinion, of lack of rear guard support. So I run 4 Trouse.
That's good. That's good.
Next, I run Loris. Really good card.
Your break stride for the deck?
For the deck. You want to ride her early game, in my honest opinion. It's not, not saying that Trouse is bad early game. It's just I feel like Loris is better early game than late game. Trouse lets you build hand advantage with her break stride skill, which is counterblast 1, bounce a unit from your rear guard, draw 1 card. Pretty simple. Her GB2 ability is when something's called behind her, they both get harmony effects. So when harmony effect is active, you give 2 units plus 5, and you give Loris a crit.
That's good. That's
so
really good.
I normally don't use the GB2 ability unless I have to bait out a PG or a G Guardian. So yeah, I don't really use it that often unless I need to bait out something.
Nice. That's a good bit. That's a good ability to use.
Next, I run 2 Rivieres for Trouse because it's a Legion, and basically Riviere is just there for kind of like bait in a way. Like people expect like I'm running the Riviere build, like oh he might have 4 copies of Riviere to counterblast 2, ditch the copy to give +5 to 3 rear guards, but normally I don't use that ability because I use it for the Legion and for the restand because restanding Vanguards are good. They've always been good. So Trouse is the mate.
Yes. Nice.
And next I'm going on to the Grade 2s. I run I call her Pop Girl. I run 3. Pretty much it's just to get multiple attacks if you need to. GB1 ability, when the attack hits a Vanguard, bounce a rear guard back to your hand and then Superior Call 1, and it doesn't get any power, it's just you call it and then it gets another attack. You can attack a rear guard if you can't attack a Vanguard, which is pretty good. I don't run Spica because the counterblast in this deck is pretty heavy already. But you can make counterblast work even though you don't have to use Trouse. You can stay on Loris for the entire game and still win. So that's what's good about this deck. Next I go to 4 Ellies. Ellie is it's pretty good. When she's placed or something's placed behind her, she gets +2 for every Sentinel in the drop zone. So normally like she can hit for 11 by herself, and then if you bounce it back you can recall it and then swing with for 16. If you go to stride or something. Because all our Bermuda strides pretty much bounce everything, so you can get multiple attacks like that. Just swing with Ellie once and don't boost it, and if it hits, then if the Vanguard hits, you bounce it back to your hand, you recall it for a 16 column. And her second ability is Soul Blast 1. When it intercepts into the Guardian circle, she gets +5, so it's a 10k shield. Pretty good. Helps a lot actually.
Pretty diverse, right?
That's why I run 4, because you can use Loris as defensive as well. That's why I'm debating to actually change up the Grade 2 lineup a bit, and I'll explain why later.
Pretty good shield.
Next, I run one of my favorite cards from Format 1 is Perla.
The most annoying Bermuda Triangle unit.
The most busted one.
Perla, when she hits a Vanguard, she can Soul Blast one, return a unit back to the hand. Pretty much it's not good on her own unless you have the Perla Sister, because Perla Sister gives it an addition ability, which I'll explain later. Next I run 4 Sentinels, the unflip damage. So pretty much when you have another Sentinel on the drop zone and you put this in a Guardian Circle, you unflip one for if you have one on the drop. I run these because I need Counterblast for Trouse or Final Game Push if I'm maxed out on Counterblast and I gotta, stride for Olivia or Loris, the grade 4 Loris. Then this really helps get that off if you have one in the drop. Next I run Perle, the sister from Perla. So basically, what she does is when she's placed on the field, or on the rear guard, or vanguard, she gives Perla the skill to, on hit, soul charge 1, draw an extra card, which is pretty good early game, mid game. It's not so good late game unless your opponent's at 4 damage. So, like, you get 2 skills for, for 1 card, which is Soul Blast, Bounce, Soul Charge, Draw. Normally I do the Soul Charge and Draw and then the Soul Blast and Bounce because I want to see what I Soul Charge, because if I Soul Charge a trigger, I want to Soul Blast it out immediately so that I can Legion back the trigger back into the deck with Trials. So normally you want to Soul Charge and Draw first and then Soul Blast if you need to, if it's a trigger, or a PG, to make the drop zone active. Then I would do that. If it's just a grade 2, I normally just leave it in the soul.
Yeah, it's really good for people who don't like you to have early game plus. Because most people, when they see an on-hit ability, they want to guard it immediately so you can't gain resources or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, normally people guard it, and I'm okay with that because they wasted a shield in hand that can be used later in the game. I run 3 Stride Fodders. When it's placed on rearguard, you reveal a grade 3 from your hand, and you search out Loris from the deck as a target, and then you discard a card. Normally, it happens every now and then, where I get Riviere and it's my only grade 3 in my hand, and I only run 2, so Riviere is pretty dead if you write it. Yeah. But if you have, Riviere in hand with this and another grade 1, then you're pretty solid, because all you gotta do is just call this behind a rearguard, reveal it, ditch it, and then search for Loris, and then you're pretty solid for a right target, and you could just bounce back your Stride Fodder because that's what Bermuda is. You can just bounce it back with Perla if you need to.
Yep.
So it's like it's not a minus. I don't think it's a minus to call this out for Bermuda because you can just bounce it back. You can bounce it back easily in the deck.
Yeah, that's a pretty good advantage. Really good.
Next, I run 2 Kuras. Her ability is when she's placed, Soul Blast 2, unflip 2 damage. This is another useful card for using consistent damage every now and then to get Tross off again, or to get Olivia, or anything that counterblasts in the deck. But I might change this for another card, which I'm going to show later, because I think these cards are pretty good if you guys want to try it out, that I have on the side. And then I have the 1 tech, which is a Shizuku.
Grade 3 searcher, basically?
It's a grade 3 searcher. It's pretty good if you're on Loris and if you need to search out Tross, because you can potentially get the game next turn, because of you can tell by your opponent's hand damage, your hand control or your opponent's damage. Then you really want to get this off. Normally I see it every single time, even though it's at 1. I see it constantly, which is surprising. People always tell me, why don't you run 2, 3, 4? And it's like, no, the 1 is good for me because I always get it. Normally I don't need it. When I do need it, I always get it. When I don't need it, I still get it as a right target for my Vanguard, which is pretty good. You guys can run it at 2 if you guys want, but I don't think you would need to in this deck because you always have the hand draw, the hand power, so you're always drawing your grade 3s every now and then, so that's why I have it at 1.
Cool.
Then the triggers is just pretty generic. 4 heal triggers, because heal triggers are mandatory now in this game because of Generation Guard.
Yeah.
Games go way too fast.
I think it's always been mandatory.
So that's for Generation Guard.
And now it's really mandatory.
No, there were times where people run like 16 crit just to rush you hard as
Yes.
possible.
Yeah, so remember Panda, he ran 16 crit.
Oh, that was the most try hard thing I ever saw.
Yeah, it was really good. Alright.
Yeah, so now that's why heal triggers are essential now.
Yeah.
I run 4 of the Reyna, which I actually put in earlier today because I feel like it's more useful for the soul than to draw the card. I just chug it in the soul, draw a card, and I think I give Alvarez Vanguard +5, which is pretty good. You can make Alvarez a 26 attack with a crit when it's in harmony, and that's PG bait, generation guard bait, and normally you just build it for the soul for Trouse or for Ellie, the grade 2 to Soul Blast Intercept for a 10k shield, which is, if you have Ellie and then you just chug this in the soul, you pretty much just chug this in for Ellie, so Ellie can guard as a 10k, so you just use up the 10k for a rear guard as an attack for a shield later on for Ellie. So it's a shield for a shield in my opinion. And then I run 4 draw triggers, just in case, Bermudas do have a lot of draw power. You could run 12 crits if you want to, but this is how I play it. 4 draws just in case I don't have any cards in hand, and Trouse needs to restand and have 3 active counterblasts for game. This can save you, because you need to dump 3 cards instead of 2, which is bothersome, but it's a Legion, and Legion is pretty dang good. Or you can run 12 crits for aggressive play. It works both ways, but you won't be seeing Trouse being restanded too often without draw triggers. And then more crits. Generic. I do not run stands because stands just kill my deck.
Because you're bouncing. Why do you need a stand? You just recall it.
Yeah, so now for the G zone. I run 4 Livias. I think it's a staple in the G zone, in my opinion. Normal. When she attacks, counterblast 1, choose up to 5 rear guards. If they're all different, choose up to. That's why I'm saying choose up to, because you can choose up to 3 and she still gets to crit. So when she attacks, choose up to 5, bounce them all. If all are different, then Superior Call 2, and then she gets a crit. So
Nice.
Very offensive.
very offensive. It's PG generation guard.
Yes.
And like most decks give your own Vanguard plus crits, so I like having crits in your 16 trigger lineup is like okay now.
Yeah.
It's not completely necessary anymore. So
Then I run 1 Loris, the grade 4. Kind of similar to Olivia, but it doesn't do the multiple attacks with Olivia. It's when she attacks, or before she attacks, counterblast 1, choose any random one, flip it face up, and then it'll get the ability later on. So when it attacks, it has to be in harmony at first. When it's in harmony, choose out to 3 rear guards? Is it? No. Choose up to 3 rear guards, give it +5, and then give Loris a crit, which is pretty push heavy. Makes Collins big for that turn. Normally people guard it because it has a crit. You don't want to get critted to the face, obviously. So good card. I might move it up to 2 because sometimes there's games that get prolonged where Olivia's gone, this Olivia's gone, and then she's gone, and then it's like my G zone is pretty much dead. So I would move it up to 2 or 3. In all honesty, because it's counterblast 1, so it's not that heavy of a cost.
Plus give 5,000 to
Plus give
3.
5 to 3 rear guards. So I would say run 2 to 3. I run 1 for now. I run 2 Somnias, or Somni, whatever you want to call her. Generic first ride target if you want to. It's when an attack hits, bounce a rear guard, Superior Call it. Give it +3, and then it's another attack, pretty much.
Nice.
I run something similar that I added today, which gives not +3, but it gives +5. What's her name? Frida. I'm gonna call her Frida. Whatever. Same thing. Choose a, except it's different. It says choose a card when an attack hits. Choose a card, flip it face up, and bounce a rear guard, Superior Call it, and give it +5. So it's better. It gets the GB2 active for Loris if you need it for the early push, and it gives a rearguard +5, making it a 14 or 16k column.
Interesting.
I run 2 Cinderellas. I don't, her name is not Cinderella, it's a Morris. But pretty much when she's placed on the Vanguard, bounce 2 rearguards back to your hand. It's just a field reset. If you have Perlas or Perlays to, what you want to go off to apply the attack on hip pressure, force the guard, then I would go into this for the Perla to get extra hand advantage. Now, I run 2 El Prina. Now this is if your field is like really like janked up by Kagero or any clan that retires. Pretty much you place this one per turn, you Soul Blast 1, and then you bounce up to 2 of your rearguards. This is the same thing as Amoris, but this is if you want to use the Soul and you want to switch it up a bit, then she's okay. Then I run 4 G Guardians. Pretty much when she's placed in the Guardian circle, you bounce Bermuda unit back to your hand. Is it bounced back to your hand? Oh no, you just reveal it. That's the other G strat. You reveal the same grade that's on your field besides grade 0s, I think, and reveal it, and it gets +5, so it's a 20k shield.
Pretty standard for G Guardian. Just
And then-
Wi-Fi in your gimmick.
And as my starter, I run Finger of Magic. Pretty much, this is one of the key starters in the deck for Loris. Because every time when you have GB active, every time she boosts, she gets returned to hand. So you can keep constantly placing her behind Loris to giving Loris 5k and a crit at like almost every turn, unless you're forced to guard it or if it's retired. Once this is retired, I would suggest go into Trouse or stay on Loris and keep striding, because once you put that grade 1 or other grade unit, it's stuck. It literally is stuck there for the rest of the game. But it's okay. I mean, you can just keep striding, bounce back to grade 1, and then recall it for next turn. But normally when this is gone for me, I normally just stay on this, I stride, or I go for 1 times 7k for a push, for a Harmony push, or I just go Trouse for the final push. Now the cards that I was gonna mention earlier was they're pretty old cards. Her name is Rika. She's a duo. I was thinking about running this card rather than the
5k on Flipper?
5k Kura, because pretty much it's a soul charge, unflip a damage, and it sounds pretty good because you soul charge and unflip a damage, and you can use the soul for Trouse or for anything you need it for, and it has that damage active. You're always bouncing in this deck with Loris, which is surprising. If you stay on Loris, this is God. This is like literally God for Loris. And you can keep using all your resources with this. And then potentially once you're out of stride units, out of counterblast units, you probably still have damage active. This is what I'm futurely seeing. Damage active, and you can do a lot more things towards the end game. So you guys can test this out. I'm gonna test it out myself, just to see how it is. Another card, which is I think a defensive card for Loris, which is Vita. Pretty much when during either player's main phase, if at the beginning of your opponent's main phase, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose up to a grade 1 or less from your hand and call it to an open rear guard. So pretty much, literally, you can call the grade 0 back or the grade 1. Put it behind Loris, and you give Loris +5, so she's a 16k base for your opponent's attack. So you're pretty much playing defensive with a 16k base, and you can give your rear guard +5. And normally you want, who doesn't want a 16k defense, or it's just who wouldn't want that? So I really look into her because she's pretty good. I just gotta find room for this deck, actually. So there's already a lot of key cards in my deck. And then one quintet wall. Why I say one quintet wall? I don't know. I feel like quintet wall can be really helpful at times.
Especially for decks that rely on drop zone.
And exactly, maybe quintet wall. You know, get a couple. You never know. Get a PG in the drop zone, and yet say you have a PG in hand, you don't want to use PG, but you need to unflip, right? Just throw the quintet wall. Maybe your opponent's going for a big attack, right? Quintet wall, throw down the PG, and if you hit a PG in the drop, then you unflip a damage, and then you go for your final push with the last counterblast you have. I don't know. It's debatable. Quintet walls are really meh to me, but I don't know. I just thought about it and thought it would be good.
It's an interesting tech.
So yeah, try these cards out. You know,
like quintet walls are nice, but like nowadays with the huge ass freaking columns that you have to face, like I don't know, PGs might be more beneficial for your builds or clans.
Yeah, for some decks, yeah.
But yeah, try these cards out. You know, replace them with. Let's see here. Sorry, you can replace. That's another thing is you can keep these. You can still keep these. I'm not saying you can. I'm not saying to just toss them away. You can probably just run, you know, 2 of these, right, and then 2 of these, and then you can still keep these to just keep maybe keep backup resources, or use the Soul Blast 2 draw card. I don't have it on me, but you just place it, Soul Blast 2 draw card. You can replace that with that instead, or just keep it and replace these with. I would say replace them with these 3 cards and Ellie. Ellie, replace it with 1 and then replace it with these 3. But that is up to you. You can, or if you want multiple attacks, keep this in and then, you know, replace it with 2 instead, or just run like just these and leave these out and just keep these, or you can just leave these out or just keep those, right? Switch it with those.
You've got a lot of options basically,
Yeah.
so like explore. If you don't like this deck profile, well, this is just a reference guide for you then.
And another thing that I would like to add before ending this, I'm not sure. I'm hearing a rumor. People are telling me. I don't even know. But apparently they're trying to bring G regulation to America. So if that happens, I do have another deck build for Loris. It's pretty much generic to every other Loris deck. But if you guys want to see it, comment below, subscribe, and yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, I guess that about wraps it up. Thanks, Brian, for sharing your deck profile, and we'll see you again. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.